experimenting with a new angle on the camera here. So yeah, in our first part of this video, one individual that got left out, so we'll just briefly go back and mention a little bit about
do this in our part 2 series.
Talk about Tugboat.
And you know, here's a guy that I didn't know that much about. I read about him in magazines. This is the guy who was before the natural disasters. I remember the feud with Earthquake, and I think right after that, he teamed up with Earthquake, aligning himself with him and Jimmy Hart. They were the take team that were the heels.
Yes.
Natural disasters before they ditched Jimmy Hart. Well, Jimmy Hart actually
Ditched them, I
for
think.
Money Inc.
Yeah.
So I didn't know too much about Tugboat, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, Tugboat's one of those wrestlers that didn't overly get mentioned a whole lot. Now, I mean, he did have a fairly good run. I mean, he had like 3 different characters throughout his career, but I think the one that probably stands out the most is Typhoon, unless you're a fan of WCW and remember the ridiculous debut of Shockmaster. But we'll digress from that.
Yeah, that's something I'm sure people want to forget.
Oh,
including him.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do, including him. So, with that all in mind, that being said, we go to a woman that, well, essentially helped launch the rock and wrestling fad that went on through at least a year or two in the middle part of the 80s, Cyndi Lauper.
Yes, you know, in 1985, it was the biggest thing in MTV, and Cyndi Lauper was the leader of that year with Girls Just Want to Have Fun,
Yep.
and Time After Time, and True Colors, and all that kind of shit.
Yep.
It was definitely a good year for that, so, you know, Hulk Hogan and WWE decided, hey, you know what? Let's bring MTV to WWE. So they did that. They had Cyndi Lauper come in and they talked about, you know, having WrestleMania. That was their first thing. We're going to have WrestleMania, but we're going to have Cyndi Lauper represent the award. Or, no, Captain Lou Albano. How the hell did that go?
Cyndi Lauper worked with Wendy Rector at a WrestleMania 1
Yeah.
and their women's championship match against, I believe it was Leilani Kai. The WrestleMania 1.
Yeah. It was. I think.
And, of course, Wendy ended up winning the title, and the celebration in the ring was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started out with kind of the alignment of wrestling and music and rock and roll, where wrestling, which eventually led into WrestleMania and going from there.
I mean, who would have thought you would see... You can't see it nowadays because of reasons. Roddy Piper kicking or kind of lately tapping Cyndi Lauper, you know,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely she's somebody that, you know, if you're going to have Bob Uecker and Pete Rose, although Pete Rose has been in the WrestleMania more times than him,
Yes.
why not have Cyndi Lauper? I mean, the lady that was in the first WrestleMania, you know, in the corner of Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it was kind of irritating seeing Wendy Richter being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and she's there at WrestleMania class of 2000. I can't remember what year it was.
Yeah.
And she's always going, ah, girls just want to have fun. Go. And it's like, shut up. So,
We get it.
yeah.
You're doing a tribute to Cyndi Lauper. Once, I think, is enough.
Cyndi Lauper definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And honestly, the only person, if they bring her back, that definitely needs to induct her is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately we lost Captain Roboto, so
Yeah.
Hogan is the only choice. But yes, Cyndi Lauper definitely Hall of Fame worthy in the WWE.
Yeah. This next choice is a very interesting choice. Not really my choice. And definitely a unique choice. I'm not exactly sure how it would work out, but who knows? It probably could work out. Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes, another metal legend. And you know, here's a guy, and I would say, yeah, you know what? You can look at Cyndi Lauper and say, well, she is a part of WrestleMania 1. She should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Well, the same could be said for Ozzy Osbourne, who was in WrestleMania 2, beside the British Bulldogs
Yes.
and Lord Alfred Hayes. You also had Raw, and that's how WWE became campy for a while, having Raw guest hosts.
Yes.
You have the Osbournes, and
Yeah, he had Ozzy and his wife Sharon
that
co-host an episode of Raw.
the whole
together.
purpose was for Ozzy just to go, Sharon! But then you had Ozzy go on stage at one point and sing I Don't Want to Stop from his album Let Me Hear You Scream. You've got
That was
Ozzy.
actually a really good song.
It was awesome, you know, and of course, Triple H, a big fan. So yes, Ozzy Osbourne definitely needs to be, it should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Why not? I mean, I could have put Alice Cooper on the list
Yeah.
because of WrestleMania 3, and I'm also a huge Alice Cooper fan. But the fact is, Ozzy Osbourne came to mind, and I think that, yes, Triple H, in fact, hell, let's have Triple H and Shawn Michaels induct them into the Hall of Fame. Ozzy Osbourne, definitely worth it, because he didn't sing a theme song for any wrestler,
Yeah.
but he was in the WWE, appearing more times than an Alice Cooper
Yeah.
or a Cyndi Lauper. So yeah, Ozzy Osbourne would be in the future for me anyways.
In case anybody hasn't noticed yet, Matt's a huge metal fan. If you need any more evidence, look at the dude's shirt. Friggin' Slipknot, alright?
Yeah, gotta love the Slipknot. Corey Taylor's the man. And a WWE fan.
Cool. Next we go on to a guy that I would consider one of the best ring tacticians there ever has been. I was going to say technical wrestler, but I guess kind of technical wrestler. Had a hell of a run, multiple championships. Hell, I think should have been in the Hall of Fame years ago, but who knows, maybe still the opportunity could be there. Arn Anderson.
Yes, the enforcer, Arn Anderson. And I think that I put the Four Horsemen on there. I thought they were inducted, but I guess not.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen were inducted.
Okay, so Arn Anderson.
That's how Ric Flair became a two-time WWE Hall of Famer.
That's true.
Once for his singles career and once for the Four Horsemen.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Arn Anderson, and the guy's Four Horsemen. He was Brainbusters, you know.
Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Minnesota Wrecking Crew. You know, this guy definitely, and you know, he got injured, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and had to retire. But the guy could, you know, fucking go,
Oh yeah.
and badass motherfucker. You know, not that it's important, but my dad's age, I thought he was older than, you know, he is. But no, he's still quite young.
Fairly, yeah.
And WWE agent.
Yes.
So, definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame,
Absolutely.
you know. And, yeah, there it is.
Next on the list is a guy that had a fairly good career, decent amount of championships, had a very unique heel run, and I think definitely is another one of those guys that deserves way more credit than he actually got, is Rick Martel.
Yes, Rick Martel, a guy that definitely deserves more credit. And, you know, he does still work in the independent scene. But you got a guy who teamed with Tito Santana. Trying to think of who else he teamed with. The Can-Am Connection.
Can-Am Connection with Tom Zank.
Yes. And in the model, obviously. And, you know, I brought up the feud with Tatanka. Martel's had feuds with Jake Roberts. Shawn Michaels.
When Strike Force split up, him and Tito rivaled for a little bit.
Yes. I trying to think if he, besides the Tag Team Championship, if he ever... I thought he was Intercontinental at one point.
I don't remember him being Intercontinental Champion, to be honest.
Me neither.
I know later on in his career, about 97-ish, I'll say, he went to WCW
Yeah.
and wrestled for a little bit.
But definitely a guy that should be recognized and brought back to wrestle. I mean, you look at... He still has a great, you know, physique.
Yeah.
And, you know what? You look at a team like, you know, Kevin and Sammy, two guys from Quebec, and you should have them being managed by Rick Martel. That would be awesome if, you know...
Or Pat Patterson.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I don't
Yeah.
know how well that would go.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, definitely, Rick Martel needs to be in the Hall of Fame in the future as the model or just as himself.
Oh, yeah. Next we go to a guy that had an absolutely stellar career, good number of championships, and overall, just an amazing, amazing guy. And I think being in the Hall of Fame would just solidify everything. Not to mention the guy's family also. Barry Windham.
Yes. Well, this guy, you know, you talk about the Four Horsemen. He was another member at some point.
Yeah, a little later on.
A little later on, joining the new Blackjacks.
Yes.
You have Barry Windham, and that's the thing I thought about doing, but decided to do them separate. Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda.
Yes.
I'm not sure. It's funny because I think it was either Mike. Well, it was Mike anyways. You get Bo Dallas and, you know, Bray Wyatt. It's like a part of the Wyndham Rotunda thing.
Yes.
So, I mean, you get Barry Windham, and also a pretty good career in WCW.
Yeah.
So, again, haven't seen a lot of his matches, but one of
amazing wrestler and ring performer. For a guy his size, 6'6", 285, 280, I think he was. He could move around that ring like nobody else.
Oh yeah,
Just
I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, from the stuff that I have seen, I definitely will say that's accurate.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I should see more of his matches. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I know that he is somebody that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he was NWA Heavyweight Champion. He was a tag team champion. I believe he held the U.S. title as well. And, yeah, him as a member of the Four Horsemen, or him on a singles competitor, a member of the New Blackjacks, or...
And that's actually how Bradshaw came about.
Yes. Or Team... Or what the heck? Team USA or whatever with Mike Rotunda. Just all around one hell of a wrestler. Speaking of Mike Rotunda, he's next.
Yes, and one of these guys that... And it's interesting because the Real American, Rick Derringer's song for Hogan, or so you thought, was actually used for Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham. Before Hogan. So...
No, the song that was used for Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda was Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen.
I know, but they did have...
Prior to that, yeah.
Yes.
Real American I believe, was used, yes.
But, yes, and then you have IRS, or No Shyster. And this guy definitely has been involved in the WWE even after you had him being backstage segments. He was in the Gimmick Battle Royal in WWE WrestleMania 17.
Yes.
He was in another Battle Royal for Raw, old school. He's still a WWE agent.
Oh yeah.
Somebody that needs to be, and one of the few guys that in the 90s anyways that I am aware of,
yes,
came down the aisle to no music.
Yeah.
Just him talking shit about the audience and
pay your taxes. All this other stuff, yeah.
And,
I think he was either one of the few or one of the only guys throughout that part of the 80s or 90s era that came to the ring with no music.
Yeah, and as a kid, it's like, wow, that's unique.
Yeah.
But,
and then, of course, when he was partnered with the $1 Million Man, of course, they used $1 Million Man's entrance music.
Yeah.
But still.
But somebody that definitely is long overdue. I mean, $1 Million Man's already in the Hall of Fame. I'm surprised that Mike Rotunda isn't.
True.
So, yeah, just, and you know what? You have Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. I know that's not their real names, but Wyndham Rotunda isn't. Silly.
Yeah, that's a weird name.
Half those guys induct their father into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You had Ted DiBiase Jr. induct his dad. You had Cody and Dustin induct Dusty Rhodes.
Yes.
That would be pretty cool.
Next up, we go to a guy that I think really deserved to have a much longer career, but an unfortunate accident wandering on a beach one day. Well, he still wrestled afterwards, but then he eventually left wrestling, and I think deserves boatload of credit, even though he didn't really win any championships or really was too long on the circuit of wrestling. The Brutus Beefcake, the Baba.
Yes, he definitely deserves a boatload of credit. Yeah, the guy definitely should have got a title run, even if it was an Intercontinental Championship. I thought that him and Greg Valentine would take champions.
Oh, they were.
So,
But I mean,
there's
like,
that.
so aside from that, there wasn't really anything else.
Yes. And, him coming back, and I mean, him and Hogan are longtime friends, and
Oh yeah.
him coming back and helping Hogan out, and just going to WCW, and not only was he the barber, but going to WCW and becoming a part of the Dungeons of Doom. Zodiac, and yeah, and fun fact, he was interviewed on Where Are They Now?
Right.
And trying to explain a boating accident, which I'm trying to figure out how that happened. He talks about the barber thing. He hated that idea.
Yeah.
Like, he came to the ring at WrestleMania 3, and he cut Adrian Adonis his hair,
Yes.
and they said, "Oh, that's it. You're gonna be the barber now." He went to barber school, and I think he just was livid at the thought that, okay, why is this happening?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be at the barber. I should be. What the hell's the barber?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he finally succumbed to that and became Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
And everyone loved it.
Oh, yeah. And then he left, and then he came back, and eventually went to WCW.
Yes.
He's long since retired. He rides his motorcycle everywhere, I guess. Yeah, I mean, a guy that definitely should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And of course, who better to induct Brutus Beefcake than Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
His
For
longtime
sure.
best friend.
My knowledge of the accident, and I think I was watching Brutus do, and it was an in-ring promo he did on Monday Night Raw after he was healed up. And what he had said was he was, I think, at home in Tampa, Florida, just walking along the beach, and there was somebody, I think, parasailing, and it got too close to the beach. The boat got too close to the beach, and the parasailer drifted and collided with Brutus and just completely destroyed his face. He needed to get facial reconstructive surgery. He had to stick his thumb in his mouth and push it up on his roof of his mouth and on his palate so he could breathe. And yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's not something you want to have happen when you're at home, nonetheless.
But watching his heel promo stuff, well, not promo, but watching his heel stuff with Greg the Hammer Valentine, he was a pretty good heel as well. And, I mean, he was probably like that too in WCW as Zodiac, but definitely...
I don't think he ever said anything as the Zodiac.
Oh.
Not that I can recall.
Well...
Although there was a portion of that, I believe he was at some point ousted by the Dungeon of Doom, and he went by, I think it was the man that shall remain nameless or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Up next is a guy that could have been put in the Hall of Fame, I don't know, 3 years ago or so. His best friend definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and honestly, so does he. Good career, hell of a wrestler, multiple championships, and I think if anything, one inducted the other to have the other do return the favor. Anyways, don't want to get babbling here. Christian.
Yes, and this guy. So, watching Edge and Christian, they grow up together in Ontario. I guess it was Christian that moved to Orangeville, and it was because he had a ninja star that him and Edge became friends.
Right.
And they traveled together. They became friends with Rhino.
Yep.
And there's a legendary story where they had to cross a frozen lake, and they had, they tried to do whatever it was to make their wrestling career work.
Oh yeah.
And I found actually an interview with Edge and Christian right before they became the WWF wrestlers that we knew them
Yeah.
from. And we have, Edge has the long hair. Then you have Christian, who his hair is kind of long, but he's a punch boy. And so, yeah, they did the independent circuit. And then eventually made their way, Edge wrestled in WCW once or twice.
Yeah.
And then they eventually made their way to WWF. Well, actually, Edge did first, and then Christian did. Christian also becoming the light heavyweight champion, the Intercontinental champion, the European champion, hardcore champion,
World
heavyweight champion, tag team champion,
ECW
champion. The only thing that should have happened was the WWE champion.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking shame that never happened. I don't know if things got lost somewhere, but the guy should have been the WWE champion at least once.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it's a crying shame. But that being said, he does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He needs to be inducted by Edge. I think that Adam Copeland and Jason Wesco, longtime friends, need to be in the Hall of Fame together.
Absolutely.
So,
Next, we go on to a lady that really helped to redefine women in wrestling, and most importantly, help women be in a role as wrestling other than just a wrestler. She was the first one to do it. She was, in my opinion, one of the best to do it. And for God's sake, absolutely needs to be in the Hall of Fame, Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean,
Damn straight.
you got Randy Savage, who was inducted in 2011. This woman was married to one of the best wrestlers there ever was. The reason that I got into the wrestling federation,
Yes.
she was probably one of the best managers. You look at valets and you go, yeah, okay. Miss Elizabeth was more than that.
Yes.
And, I mean, she wasn't tough like Sherry, but she was definitely charming. And she, even in WCW, she kind of had that, even though she was made to look like a badass,
Yeah.
she still had that charm. So, I mean, she definitely needs to be recognized in the WWE Hall of Fame. You know, there's just really no two ways about that.
Miss Elizabeth is what was the woman that defined what it could be like and what it was like to be a true lady in the sport of professional wrestling. And I mean, thing that in my mind sticks out the most about Elizabeth is, okay, she was a drop dead gorgeous woman. That is a no-brainer. But as far as her being a valet or a manager, anytime she accompanied Randy to the ring, and whoever it was he was facing, whether it been Hogan, Steamboat, Flair, anybody else, just watching her made you feel what she was going through watching Randy in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was when he had the upper hand, or whether it was when he was getting beat up, she just could make you feel what she was feeling. All it was just body language and facial expressions.
You want a good example of that? You go watch WrestleMania 7.
Yes.
You know, a woman that watches the match between Macho Man and Warrior, and then the match ends and Savage loses, then Sherry kicks the shit out of him, and Miss Elizabeth cannot take no more, and then goes down the aisle and fends Sherry off, and then you get this stare down between Savage and Elizabeth, and the fact is, it was very emotional, and it would pull on your heartstrings, and there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. They finally embrace. And it's like, wow, you know. Looking back at it now, it's like all four of those individuals are no longer around. It's holy shit.
I know.
You know, even I get a little choked up thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck. But, anyways, this was part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 in a second. Talk to you soon.